Hi, my name is Kristin Agcaoli. I'm a client engineer at N3TWORK Studios. I currently live in Sunnyvale, California. I went to college at the University of California, San Diego, where I graduated with a degree in computer science and a minor in cognitive science. So cognitive science is like a combination of psychology, neuroscience, and human-computer interaction. And so being able to uh, understand the user experience and how players like perceive your game turns out to be actually very useful in my career. After graduating college, I went straight to Network. So I've been making games here for over 5 years now. I mostly work with the Unity game engine, which uses the C# programming language. Sometimes I use Python and Dash. As a client engineer, I build user-facing features and tools for live operations. So I'm currently working on a game called Triumph, which is a squad RPG game available on iOS and Android. I worked on the guild feature, the inbox, the inventory system, as well as some of the gameplay modes. So some of my favorite games are farming and narrative games. My favorite game of all time is Stardew Valley, followed by Life is Strange, and a indie narrative game called A Story Beside. So I knew that I wanted to be a programmer early on, back in middle school, where I messed around with HTML and CSS in a website called Neopets. But it wasn't until freshman year of college where I attended a hackathon and learned about the Unity game engine, and that's where I made my first game, and it made me very excited to expand on that. So at the hackathon, there was actually a workshop that started at 10 p.m. and lasted for about 6 hours that went over the techniques on how to use Unity. So after I made a game there, I worked on other side projects for the rest of my college career. I made VR experiences mainly that use the same tool set. When making a game, or a feature for your game, it's important to start off with a clear idea and the expectations for that core gameplay loop that you're trying to build. Like answering the question, what makes your game fun, is very important, and especially early on. You could iterate on that and get feedback, and then from there expand to build your game. You want to get feedback early. So as soon as something kind of like works and like it's playable and shows the requirements of your core gameplay loop, I usually give that to people, try to get their feedback, and then polish that up some more. I started off working with just my own engineering art that usually looks like just like regular like assets, just like white colored solid colors, making sure that just they're interactable. They don't have to look pretty, but they have to do the job done. I don't try to build like any of the the heroes or anything. It's a lot of UI engineering art. So when I get stuck on a problem, if there's a deadline, I usually communicate that early on and try to ask for help. You don't really want to be stuck on a problem that someone has already solved before. Otherwise, if there's a deadline or if no one really knows the answer, I usually like to just take a break, focus, take a walk, pet my cats, and then go back into the problem with a fresh mind. Usually I like writing down my ideas and the actual problem and trying to tackle it in writing first before going to the computer and working on it again. Work on a lot of side projects. Those are a good way to figure out what it is that you're actually interested in, practice your skill set. You can get side projects just doing it personally on your own time. in a hackathon, or like as part of like a local game development group, or if possible, an internship. Those are some pretty good ways to get experience in game development.